My wife came back from our honeymoon with an STD. Not a cold. Not a rash. A full-blown sexually transmitted disease. And while she stood there in our bathroom, hands shaking, spinning lies about hospital mistakes and contaminated equipment, I already knew the truth. Because the man she cheated with? His wife had messaged me first. And I invited them both to karaoke night, handed her the microphone, and let her read those test results out loud. You should have seen my wife's face when every dirty detail started echoing through the speakers. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Hey, beautiful souls. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hi love, I'm so glad you made it. Before we dive into this story, do me a quick favor and tell me in the comments where you're watching from. Are you team morning coffee or team late night scroll? And listen, if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, what are you waiting for? My mom said I can't reach 1K subs. Please, help me prove her wrong. Just one tap. That's all I'm asking. You might just save a soul today by subscribing. Alright, let's get into it. I'm standing in my kitchen on a Tuesday morning, staring at a piece of paper that's about to destroy my entire life. The paper is warm because I just printed it. The ink smells sharp. My hands aren't shaking yet, but they will be. It's a medical report. An STD test. Positive. And it's not mine. It's my wife's. Her name is right there at the top. Myra Benson. Date of birth. Patient ID number. Everything official and clinical and impossible to deny. I found it buried in her email, forwarded from a clinic I've never heard of, with a subject line that just said results. I should be angry. I should be screaming. I should be throwing things. But instead, I'm calm. Disturbingly calm. Because 3 days ago, I got a message from a stranger named Lila Monroe, and she told me everything I needed to know before I even found this paper. Her message was simple, direct, devastating. Hi. I don't know you, but I think we need to talk. I found pictures of your wedding in my husband's phone. He deleted them, but I recovered them. Your wife was there. So was he. And I think something happened between them. I remember reading that message in my car, parked outside a grocery store, bags of food getting warm in the trunk. I remember the way my stomach dropped, the way the world went silent except for the sound of my own heartbeat pounding in my ears. I didn't respond right away. I sat there for 20 minutes, just staring at those words. Then I went home, kissed my wife on the cheek, and acted like everything was fine. That was 3 days ago. Now I'm holding proof. Not speculation. Not suspicion. Proof. Myra comes down the stairs wearing one of my old college shirts and cotton shorts, hair tied up in a messy bun, looking like the woman I thought I married. She smiles when she sees me. It's the kind of smile that used to make my chest warm. Now it just makes me feel cold. Morning, babe, she says, heading straight for the coffee maker. You're up early. I fold the paper in half, then in half again, and slide it into my pocket. Couldn't sleep. Everything okay? She pours herself a cup, adds cream, stirs. Normal. Routine. Like she's not carrying around a secret that's rotting us from the inside out. Yeah, I lie. Everything's fine. She leans against the counter, sipping her coffee, studying me. For a second, I think she knows. I think she can see it on my face, the way I'm looking at her differently now, like she's a stranger wearing my wife's skin. But then she just shrugs. You've been weird lately. Distant. Have I? Yeah. Ever since I got back from that girl's weekend. She says it so casually, like it's nothing. Like she didn't come back from that weekend different. Colder. Guilty. I don't respond. I just watch her drink her coffee, watch her scroll through her phone, watch her exist in this lie she's built around us. She has no idea what's coming. Let me take you back for weeks. For weeks ago, I was happy. Stupid happy. The kind of happy that makes you believe in soulmates and forever and all that romantic garbage people write in wedding vows. Myra and I had just gotten married. Big wedding. 200 guests. Live band. Destination reception. The whole thing cost more than my car, but Myra wanted it. She said she wanted a marriage people would envy. She wanted photos that looked like they belonged in a magazine. She wanted a day that would trend on social media. And I gave it to her. Because I loved her? Because I thought making her happy was the same thing as building a strong marriage. I was wrong. Our honeymoon was in Bali. 10 days. Private villa. Infinity pool overlooking the ocean. Every morning we'd wake up to the sound of waves and every night we'd fall asleep tangled in each other. It was perfect. Or at least, I thought it was. Looking back now, I can see the cracks. The way she'd check her phone constantly, even on the beach. The way she'd disappear for spa appointments that lasted 3 hours. The way she seemed distracted during dinner, like her mind was somewhere else. I ignored it. I told myself she was just decompressing from the wedding stress. I told myself marriage was an adjustment and we'd find our rhythm. Then we came home. And a week later, she said she needed a girls' weekend. Her friend was going through a breakup and needed support. She'd be gone from Friday to Sunday. Just 2 nights. I didn't question it. I kissed her goodbye, told her to have fun, and spent the weekend watching basketball and meal prepping for the week. She came back different. Not dramatically different. Not in a way I could point to and say, that's the problem. But different enough that I felt it. The way she flinched when I touched her. The way she started showering as soon as she got home, like she needed to wash something off. The way she avoided eye contact during dinner. And then, 2 days after she got back, she said she needed to go to the doctor. She said she wasn't feeling well. She said it was probably nothing but she wanted to get checked out just to be safe. I offered to go with her. She said no. She said it was just a routine thing and I didn't need to waste my time sitting in a waiting room. So I didn't push. I let her go alone. She came back that evening and sat me down at the kitchen table. Her eyes were red. She looked scared. And she told me she had an STD. It's chlamydia, she said, voice shaking. The doctor said it's treatable. Antibiotics. It'll be gone in a week. I remember the way the words hit me. Like a punch. Like falling. Like drowning. How? I managed to ask. She started crying. Not the pretty kind of crying you see in movies. The ugly kind. The desperate kind. I don't know. The doctor said it could have been from the hospital. From equipment. From the hospital. Yes. When I had that procedure last year. Remember? The gynecologist said sometimes things aren't sterilized properly, Anne. Myra. She stopped talking. Looked at me with wide, terrified eyes. That was over a year ago. I know, but... And we've been together this whole time. If you had it then, I would have had symptoms by now. She opened her mouth. Closed it. Opened it again. Maybe it was dormant. Maybe. Myra. I don't know, Julian. She stood up, knocking her chair back. I don't know how it happened, okay? I'm just telling you what the doctor said. Her voice broke. I'm scared. And I need you to not look at me like that. Like what? Like you don't believe me. I didn't say anything. Because she was right. I didn't believe her. But I also wasn't ready to accuse her. Not yet. Not without proof. So I did what any rational person would do. I went and got tested myself. The clinic was sterile and cold and smelled like antiseptic. I sat in the waiting room next to a teenager who looked like he wanted to disappear and an older man who kept checking his watch. When they called my name, I followed the nurse back, gave my samples, and left. The results came back 3 days later. Negative. Completely negative. Every test. Clean. Which meant one of two things. Either Myra got infected after our wedding and before we were intimate again, or she got it before and somehow I didn't catch it. Both options pointed to the same conclusion. She cheated. And that's when Lila's message arrived. I was sitting in my car in the clinic parking lot, staring at my negative results on my phone when the notification popped up. A message request on Instagram from someone I didn't know. Lila Monroe. I almost didn't open it. I thought it was spam. But something made me click. And there it was. The message that confirmed everything. Hi. I don't know you, but I think we need to talk. I found pictures of your wedding in my husband's phone. He deleted them, but I recovered them. Your wife was there. So was he. And I think something happened between them. Attached to the message were screenshots. Photos from my wedding. Myra in her dress. Me in my tux. And in the background of one photo, barely visible, a man I didn't recognize talking to Myra near the bar. I zoomed in. Studied his face. I'd never seen him before in my life. I messaged Lila back immediately. Who is your husband? Her response came within seconds. His name is Owen. Owen Monroe. He works in real estate. I found your wedding photos in a hidden folder on his phone along with text messages between him and someone named Myra. I looked her up. That's your wife, isn't it? My hands were shaking now. Actually shaking. Yes. I'm sorry. I know this is horrible. But I think they've been seeing each other. And I think it started at your wedding. At my wedding. My wedding. I sat there in that parking lot for an hour, reading and rereading Lila's messages, looking at the screenshots, trying to make sense of how my wife could have been cheating on me at our own wedding and I didn't notice. And then I made a decision. I wasn't going to confront Myra privately. I wasn't going to give her a chance to lie her way out of this. I wasn't going to let her cry and manipulate and twist the story until I was the bad guy. No. If she wanted to destroy our marriage publicly, at our wedding, in front of everyone we knew, then the truth would come out publicly too. I just needed a plan. All right, loves. I need to pause here for a second. If you're feeling this story already, if your heart's racing like mine was when this all went down, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button. Don't be shy. Join the family. Let's keep growing together. I promise I'll keep the stories coming. Now, are you ready for what happens next? Because trust me, it gets so much worse before it gets better. Drop a comment and let me know, have you ever had your gut tell you something was wrong, even when everything looked fine? I'll wait. Let me tell you about Myra. About who she was when I met her. Or maybe, who I thought she was. We met 3 years ago at a mutual friend's rooftop party. Summer night. String lights. Too much wine. I was standing by the railing, looking out at the city, when she walked up beside me and said, "You look like you're trying to solve world hunger over here." I laughed. Told her I was just thinking about how small everything looks from up high. How all the chaos down there just becomes lights and noise. She smiled. That's either really profound or you're really drunk. Little bit of both. And that was it. That was the moment. She had this energy, this magnetic pull that made you want to be near her. She was beautiful, yeah, but not in an obvious way. It was the way she carried herself. Confident. Polished. Like she knew exactly who she was and what she wanted. We talked for 3 hours that night. About everything. About nothing. By the time the party ended, I had her number and a date planned for the following weekend. Our relationship moved fast. Maybe too fast. But at the time, it felt right. It felt like we were both riding the same wave, heading in the same direction. Myra worked in marketing for a luxury brand. She was ambitious. Driven. The kind of person who had a 5-year plan and a backup plan for the backup plan. She loved nice things. Designer bags. Expensive restaurants. Weekend trips to places with names I couldn't pronounce. I made decent money as a software engineer, but I wasn't wealthy. Not by her standards. Still, I never felt like she cared about that. Or maybe I just didn't want to see it. She liked being seen. She liked being envied. When we'd go out to dinner, she'd take 20 photos before the food arrived, adjusting angles and lighting until everything was perfect for Instagram. She'd check her phone constantly, refreshing to see how many likes she got, who commented, who was watching her stories. I thought it was cute at first. A little vain, maybe, but harmless. Looking back, I realize it was more than that. It was a need. A hunger. She needed people to look at her life and want it. She needed validation the way some people need air. And I played into it. I took her on romantic getaways and posted about them. I surprised her with gifts and made sure everyone knew. I proposed to her at a scenic overlook with a photographer hidden in the bushes to capture every moment. Because I loved her? And because making her happy made me happy. The wedding was her masterpiece. She spent 10 months planning it. Every detail was carefully curated. The venue. The flowers. The color scheme. The font on the invitations. She had a Pinterest board with 4,000 pins and a spreadsheet that tracked everything from table arrangements to the exact timing of when the cake would be cut. She wanted it to be perfect. And it was. 200 guests. Live band playing jazz standards. A 5-tier cake that looked like something out of a fairy tale. Speeches that made people cry. Dancing that lasted until 2 in the morning. Everyone said it was the most beautiful wedding they'd ever been to. Myra glowed the entire night. She floated from table to table, hugging people, posing for photos, soaking in every compliment. I remember watching her during our first dance, thinking, this is it. This is the woman I'm going to grow old with. I was so stupid. There were signs. Red flags I ignored because I didn't want to see them. Like the way she'd get texts late at night and say it was work. At 11 p.m. On a Saturday. Or the way she'd angle her phone away from me when she was scrolling, like she was protecting something. Or the way she'd sometimes come home from girls' night smelling like cologne I didn't recognize. I told myself I was being paranoid. I told myself that marriage required trust, and if I didn't trust her, what were we even doing? So I ignored it. All of it. Even when her friend Ashley pulled me aside at the wedding reception and asked if everything was okay between us. Even when she said Myra had been acting weird lately and keeping secrets. I laughed it off. Told her Myra was just stressed about the wedding. Told her everything was fine. Ashley looked at me with this expression I couldn't quite read. Something between pity and concern. She squeezed my arm and said, okay. As long as you're happy. I was happy. Or I thought I was. Isn't that the same thing? The honeymoon in Bali should have been perfect. And in a lot of ways, it was. The villa was stunning. The beaches were pristine. The food was incredible. But Myra was distracted. I kept catching her staring at her phone with this expression on her face. Not happy. Not sad. Just distant. Like she was somewhere else. Everything okay? I'd ask. Yeah. Fine. Just work stuff. You're on your honeymoon. Work can wait. I know. I know. I just need to make sure this campaign launches smoothly. I didn't push. I figured she'd relax eventually. That by day 3 or 4, she'd disconnect and we'd have the romantic, phone-free experience I'd imagined. She never did. On day 5, she said she was going to the spa. A full-day package. Massage. Facial. Body wrap. The works. Want me to book a couple's treatment? I asked. No, it's okay. I need some girl time. Just to decompress. You understand, right? I did. Or I thought I did. She left at 9 in the morning and didn't come back until 6 that evening. 9 hours. For a spa day. When she walked through the door, her hair was wet. Her skin looked flushed. She seemed energized. More alive than she'd been all week. How was it? I asked. Amazing. So relaxing. I feel like a new person. She kissed me. A quick peck. Then went to shower. Again. I didn't think about it. Not then. But now, knowing what I know, I can see it so clearly. The way she was building alibis. The way she was creating space between us, even on our honeymoon. The way she was probably texting him while I was sleeping beside her. Owen. The man whose name I didn't even know yet. The man who was slowly dismantling my marriage while I was busy being a good husband. When we got back from Bali, Myra was different. Not drastically. Not in a way that screamed I'm having an affair. Just different. She was more irritable. More critical. Little things I did started bothering her. The way I loaded the dishwasher. The way I folded laundry. The way I breathed too loud when we were watching TV. Are you okay? I asked one night after she snapped at me for leaving my shoes by the door. I'm fine. Just tired. From what? From life, Julian. From work. From everything. Do you want to talk about it? No. I just want to go to bed. And she did. She went to bed at 8:30, leaving me alone in the living room, wondering what I'd done wrong. That was the pattern. Distance. Irritation. Coldness. And then came the girls' weekend. Her friend Madison was supposedly going through a breakup and needed support. Myra said she was driving up to stay with her for the weekend. 2 nights. She'd be back Sunday evening. Do you want me to come? I asked, even though I knew the answer. No, babe. It's girl stuff. You'd be bored. I just want to be there for you. You are. By letting me go help my friend. She kissed my cheek. I'll miss you. I'll miss you too. She packed a small bag. Took her nice lingerie. At the time, I thought nothing of it. Women pack nice underwear even for girls' weekends, right? It's not about anyone seeing it. It's about feeling good. That's what I told myself. She left Friday afternoon. Texted me when she arrived. Sent a selfie of her and Madison, both of them holding wine glasses and smiling. I didn't hear from her much after that. A few texts here and there. Having fun. Madison says hi. Love you. When she came home Sunday night, she looked exhausted. Hair messy. No makeup. Wearing sweatpants and an oversized hoodie. Rough weekend. I asked. Yeah. Madison cried a lot. We drank too much wine. I just need a shower and sleep. She went upstairs. I heard the water running for 30 minutes. When she finally came to bed, she curled up on her side, facing away from me. Good night, I said. She didn't respond. 2 days later, she went to the doctor. And my entire world started to crumble. Before we go further, let me ask you something. If you're watching this and you've been through something similar, if you've ever ignored red flags because you wanted to believe in someone, drop a comment. Tell me your story. Because I need you to know you're not alone. And if you haven't subscribed yet, don't break my heart like that. Tap the button. Let's keep growing together. The doctor's appointment happened on a Tuesday. Myra came home around 6, eyes red, mascara smudged. She dropped her purse on the kitchen counter and just stood there, staring at nothing. Myra. She turned to look at me. Her lip was trembling. We need to talk. Those 4 words. The 4 words that always mean something terrible is coming. We sat at the kitchen table. The same table where we'd had breakfast that morning. The same table where we'd planned our future, talked about buying a house, maybe having kids someday. She folded her hands in front of her. Took a breath. I went to the doctor today because I've been feeling off. And her voice cracked. I have chlamydia. The word hung in the air between us like smoke. What? I have chlamydia. It's an STD. The doctor prescribed antibiotics. It's treatable. I'll be fine in a week or 2. My brain wasn't processing. Couldn't process. How? I don't know. She started crying. Real tears. The kind that made her whole body shake. The doctor said it could have been from contaminated medical equipment. From that gynecologist appointment I had last year. Remember? When I had that procedure? I remembered. She'd had a routine exam that required some kind of instrument. She'd come home sore and complained about the doctor being rough. That was over a year ago, Myra. I know. If you'd had it that long, I would have caught it by now. We've been together this entire time. We've been. I couldn't even say it. The intimacy we'd shared. The trust I'd given her. I would have shown symptoms. Maybe it was dormant. Maybe it just activated now. That's not how it works. How do you know? Her voice got defensive. Sharp. Are you a doctor now? No, but I understand basic biology. And basic math. This doesn't add up, Myra. She stood up, knocking her chair back. I don't know what you want me to say, Julian. I don't know how I got it. I'm just as confused and scared as you are. Are you? What's that supposed to mean? It means you don't seem confused. You seem prepared. Like you've had time to come up with a story. Her face went pale. I can't believe you'd accuse me of lying right now. I just told you I have an STD and you're making me the villain. I'm not making you anything. I'm just trying to understand. There's nothing to understand. It happened. I don't know how. And I need you to be supportive right now instead of interrogating me like I'm a criminal. She grabbed her purse and went upstairs. I heard the bedroom door slam. Then silence. I sat at that table for an hour. Just sat there. Thinking. Processing. Trying to make sense of something that made no sense. Finally, I pulled out my phone and Googled everything I could about chlamydia. Incubation periods. Transmission rates. Dormancy possibilities. Everything I read confirmed what I already suspected. If Myra had contracted it a year ago, I would have gotten it too. The transmission rate between partners is high. Symptoms usually appear within 1 to 3 weeks. It doesn't just hide for a year and then suddenly activate. Which meant she got it recently. Very recently. After our wedding. I made an appointment to get tested the next morning. Took a half day off work. Went to a clinic across town where no one would recognize me. The nurse who took my blood was kind. Professional. She didn't ask questions. Just did her job and told me results would be ready in 2 to 3 days. Those were the longest 3 days of my life. I went through the motions at home. Made dinner. Did laundry. Slept in the same bed as Myra, but on the far edge, not touching. She tried to act normal. Tried to pretend nothing had changed. She'd come up behind me while I was cooking and wrap her arms around my waist. I'd tense up. She'd feel it and pull away. "You're still mad at me," she said one night. "I'm not mad." "Then what are you?" "Confused." "About what?" "About how we got here." She didn't respond. Just turned and walked away. On Thursday, my results came back. I checked them in my car before going into work. Opened the patient portal on my phone. Scrolled down to the test results. Negative. All negative. I stared at that word until it didn't look like a word anymore. Just shapes. Just pixels on a screen. I was clean. Completely clean. Which meant Myra had gotten it from someone else. Recently. While we were married. I felt something shift inside me. Something cold and final. Like a door closing. Like a switch flipping. I drove to work. Sat through meetings. Wrote code. Responded to emails. All on autopilot. And then, at 3 in the afternoon, sitting at my desk with my coffee gone cold, I got the message from Lila. The Instagram notification popped up on my phone. A message request from someone I didn't know. Lila Monroe. I clicked it. Read her words. Saw the screenshots. The photos of my wedding. The man I didn't recognize talking to my wife. And suddenly everything made sense. The distraction during the honeymoon. The girls' weekend that wasn't really a girls' weekend. The STD. The lies. All of it. I messaged Lila back immediately. My hands were shaking so hard I had to retype sentences 3 times. When did you find these photos? 2 days ago. I've been trying to figure out if I should reach out or not. But I thought you deserved to know. Thank you. Can we meet? I need to know everything. Yes. When? Tonight. After work. We agreed to meet at a coffee shop halfway between our houses. Neutral territory. Public enough to feel safe but private enough to have a real conversation. I left work at 5. Drove to the coffee shop. Got there 20 minutes early and ordered a black coffee I didn't drink. Lila walked in at exactly 6. I recognized her immediately from her profile photo. Mid-30s. Blonde hair pulled back in a ponytail. Tired eyes. She looked like someone who hadn't slept in days. She sat down across from me. Didn't order anything. Just folded her hands on the table and said, "I'm sorry we're meeting like this." Me too. I almost didn't reach out. I thought maybe I was being paranoid. But then I found the texts. What texts? She pulled out her phone. Pulled up screenshots. Handed it to me. I read them. Every single one. Messages between Owen and Myra. Starting 3 months before our wedding. Flirty at first. Then sexual. Then planning. Meeting times. Hotel names. Excuses they'd use. One message from 2 weeks ago, "Can't wait to see you this weekend. Tell him it's a girls' trip." Another from Myra, "I will. He won't suspect anything. He never does." I read that line 3 times. He never does. Like I was stupid. Like I was a joke to her. I handed the phone back to Lila. Couldn't look at it anymore. "How long have you known?" I asked. "About a week." I found a receipt from a hotel in his jacket pocket. When I confronted him, he said it was for a work trip. But the dates didn't match up with his work calendar. So I checked his phone while he was sleeping. Found a hidden folder. That's where the photos of your wedding were. Did you confront him? Yes. He denied everything. Said the texts were taken out of context. Said the photos were innocent. Said Myra was just a friend. Do you believe him? No. She looked at me with these tired, sad eyes. Do you believe her? No. We sat there in silence for a moment. two strangers bonded by betrayal. "What do you want to do?" Lila asked. "I don't know." "What do you want to do?" "I want him to hurt the way I'm hurting. I want everyone who thinks we have this perfect marriage to know the truth." "Yeah," I said. "Me too." And that's when the plan started forming. Not fully. Not yet. But the seed was planted. If they wanted to destroy our marriages, we'd make sure everyone knew about it. Lila and I started meeting regularly after that first coffee. Always in public places. Always careful. We weren't doing anything wrong, but we both knew how it would look if our spouses found out we were talking. Over the next 2 weeks, we pieced together the full timeline of the affair. It started at my wedding. Owen was there as a +1 with one of Myra's co-workers. They met at the bar. Started talking. Exchanged numbers. At my wedding reception, while I was giving my speech about how much I loved my wife and how lucky I was to have found her, she was giving her number to another man. The text started the next day. Casual at first. "Great party. Your husband seems nice." But within a week, they'd moved to more personal conversations. Within 2 weeks, they were meeting for coffee. Within a month, they were sleeping together. All of this while Myra and I were planning our honeymoon. While I was being the excited newlywed, she was texting another man about when they could sneak away together. The spa day in Bali? Not a spa day. Owen had flown out there. They'd spent the day at a different hotel. That's why she came back so energized. So flushed. She'd spent 9 hours with her lover while I sat at our villa reading a book, thinking my wife was getting a massage. The girls' weekend? Also not what she said. Madison wasn't going through a breakup. Myra had gone to a resort 3 hours away. Owen met her there. They spent 2 nights together. Did things I don't even want to imagine. And somewhere during that weekend, one of them gave the other chlamydia. Maybe Owen got it from someone else and gave it to Myra. Maybe Myra had it and gave it to him. Lila said Owen got tested after she confronted him, and his results came back positive too. It was almost funny in a sick way. Their affair literally infected both our marriages. Lila showed me more texts. Screenshots she'd taken before Owen figured out she knew. Messages where they talked about us. About me and Lila. Owen, does your husband know? Myra, no. He's clueless. He trusts me completely. Owen, what about when you got tested? Wasn't he suspicious? Myra, I told him it was from old medical equipment. He believed me. Or at least he pretended to. Owen, and Lila? Myra, what about her? Owen, she's been acting weird. Asking questions. Myra, just stay calm. We've been careful. There's no proof. Except there was proof. We had all the proof we needed. What do you want to do with this? Lila asked during one of our meetings. We were sitting in her car outside a grocery store. It was raining. The windows were fogged up. I want her to know that I know. And I want everyone else to know too. Everyone. Everyone. Her family. Her friends. Everyone who came to our wedding and watched her lie to my face. I paused. Is that too much? No, Lila said. It's not enough. That's when we started planning. Really planning. We couldn't just confront them privately. They'd deny it. They'd gaslight us. They'd turn it around and make us look crazy or controlling or paranoid. No, we needed something public. Something undeniable. Something that would expose them in front of people they cared about impressing. For Myra, that was everyone. She lived for social validation. For being seen as successful, desirable, enviable. What if we did it at an event? Lila suggested. Something where all your friends and family would be there. Like what? I don't know. A party? A gathering. I thought about it. Myra's birthday was coming up, but I didn't want to wait that long. Then I remembered. Karaoke night. What? Myra loves karaoke. Every month, our friend group does karaoke night at this bar downtown. Everyone goes. Her friends. Some of our family. It's always packed. When's the next one? 2 weeks from Friday. Lila smiled. Not a happy smile. A determined one. Perfect. We spent the next 2 weeks refining the plan. Every detail. Every contingency. Lila would come to karaoke night. I'd introduce her as a new friend from work. No one would question it. Myra would perform. She always performed. She loved being on stage. Loved the attention. And then, when she was done, when she was riding high on applause and validation, I'd take the mic. I'd invite Lila up. She'd bring the documents. The test results. The proof. And she'd read them. Every word. Every number. Every detail. In front of everyone. The more we planned, the more real it became. And the more real it became, the more nervous I got. What if this is too far? I asked Lila one night. We were sitting in my car outside her house. She'd just shown me the printed test results. Medical documents with Myra's name at the top. Proof that couldn't be denied. Too far. Lila looked at me. Julian, they cheated on us at your wedding. They lied to our faces for months. They gave us an STD. How could this possibly be too far? I don't know. What if she breaks down? What if it destroys her? Good, Lila said. She destroyed you first. She destroyed your marriage. Your trust. Your future. Why do you still care about protecting her? I didn't have an answer for that. Maybe because part of me still loved her. Or loved who I thought she was. Maybe because I wasn't sure I could actually go through with it. Maybe because humiliating someone in public felt cruel, even if they deserved it. But then I'd remember. I'd remember coming home to her smile, knowing she'd just been with him. I'd remember the way she looked me in the eyes and lied. I'd remember the text that said, "He never suspects anything." And I'd feel that cold determination come back. You're right, I told Lila. She deserves this. We both do, Lila said. We deserve to be free of them. And the only way that happens is if we make sure they can't lie their way out. The night before karaoke night, I barely slept. Myra was beside me, breathing softly, completely unaware of what was coming. I kept thinking about turning back. About confronting her privately instead. About handling this like an adult. But then I thought about Owen at my wedding. About Myra texting him while we were on our honeymoon. About every lie she'd told since. And I knew I had to do it. Not for revenge. Not even for justice. But for myself. So I could look back on this moment and know I didn't let her get away with it. So I could know I stood up for myself when it mattered. I texted Lila at 2 in the morning. Are you sure about this? Her response came immediately. Yes. Are you? I stared at that message for 5 minutes before typing back. Yes. Then let's end this. The next day felt surreal. I went to work. Came home. Made dinner. Myra talked about her day like nothing was wrong. Like tonight wasn't about to change everything. You excited for karaoke? She asked. Yeah, I lied. Should be fun. I've been practicing a new song. You're going to love it. I smiled. Nodded. Died a little inside. At 7, we got ready. Myra wore a dress I'd always liked. Did her makeup perfectly. She looked beautiful. Like the woman I married. I wanted to hate her. But I couldn't. Not yet. Not until it was over. We drove to the bar in silence. Myra scrolled through her phone. I gripped the steering wheel and tried to steady my breathing. When we walked in, our friends were already there. The usual group. Ashley, Kevin, Sarah and Tom. Everyone smiled and waved. And in the back corner, sitting alone with a drink, was Lila. She saw me. Gave a small nod. It was happening. Really happening. Myra didn't notice her. She was too busy hugging people, laughing, soaking in the attention. I ordered a drink I didn't want and waited. Listen, before we get to what happens next, and trust me, you want to hear what happens next, can I ask you something? Have you subscribed yet? Because what's about to happen is the moment you've been waiting for. And I need you here with me when it does. Hit that button. Join the family. Let's finish this together. The bar was packed by 8. Our usual Friday crowd plus some new faces. The karaoke system was set up on the small stage in the corner. Speakers humming. Disco lights rotating. That particular smell of beer and fried food that somehow felt comforting. Myra was in her element. She'd already signed up to sing. Already picked her song. She was laughing with Ashley and Sarah, sipping a cocktail, completely relaxed. I watched her from across the room. Watched her perform her favorite role. The happy wife. The fun friend. The woman everyone wanted to be around. She was good at it. Really good. Lila caught my eye from her corner table. She'd been nursing the same drink for 30 minutes, watching, waiting. She looked calm. Determined. Ready. I wasn't sure I was ready. My stomach was twisted in knots. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. I kept running through the plan in my head, looking for a way out, a reason to stop. But then Myra caught me staring. She smiled. Blew me a kiss across the room. And something hardened inside me. Kevin appeared beside me. You good, man? You look stressed. Just tired. Long week. Tell me about it. He clapped me on the shoulder. At least we got this, right? Good friends. Good vibes. Nothing better. Yeah, I said. Nothing better. The karaoke started around 8:30. Tom went first, butchering some classic rock song. Everyone cheered anyway. That was the rule. No matter how bad someone sang, you cheered. Sarah went next. Then Kevin. Then a few people I didn't know. And then they called Myra's name. She squealed. Actually squealed. Bounced up from her seat and made her way to the stage. She loved this moment. The walk to the microphone. The anticipation. The lights on her face. She picked up the mic, smiled at everyone. This one's for my amazing husband, she said, looking right at me. Love you, babe. People awed, someone whistled. I felt sick. The music started. Some love song I recognized but couldn't name. Myra started singing. She had a decent voice. Not professional, but pleasant enough. She sold it with her performance. The way she moved. The way she looked at me during the romantic parts. Everyone was eating it up. Swaying. Singing along to the chorus. I couldn't move. Couldn't breathe. Just stood there watching this woman I'd married perform her love for me like it was real. Like she hadn't been sleeping with another man. Like she hadn't infected me with her lies. The song ended. Everyone erupted in applause. Myra took a little bow. Blew another kiss in my direction. She stepped off the stage, riding high on the attention. Her friends hugged her. Told her she was amazing. She glowed. This was the moment. Right now. While she was happy and confident and surrounded by people she cared about impressing. I set down my drink. Walked to the stage. Picked up the mic before anyone else could claim it. "Hey everyone," I said. My voice cracked. I cleared my throat. "Thanks for coming out tonight. I know we usually just cycle through songs and have fun, but I need to do something real quick." The room quieted. People turned to look at me. Myra's smile faltered slightly. "Myra, baby, that was beautiful. Really. You always know how to put on a good show." She laughed nervously. Mouthed, "What are you doing?" "I've been thinking a lot lately about truth. About honesty. About what it means to really know someone." I paused. And I realized there's some things that need to be said. Some truths that need to come out. Myra's face went pale. She took a step toward me. "Julian, I want to invite someone up here. Someone who has something important to share with all of us. Lila, could you come up here please?" Lila stood. She had a folder in her hand. The folder we'd prepared. She walked through the crowd. People shifted to let her pass. Confused murmurs rippled through the room. Myra's eyes locked on Lila. Recognition flickered across her face. Then panic. "Julian, what is this?" Myra's voice was tight. High-pitched. "This is Lila Monroe," I said into the mic. "She's married to Owen Monroe. You know Owen, right Myra? You met him at our wedding." The room was dead silent now. Everyone watching. Waiting. Myra opened her mouth. Closed it. I don't understand what's happening. Lila has something she'd like to share with everyone. Something I think you'll all find interesting." I handed her the microphone. Lila took it. Her hand was steady. She opened the folder. Pulled out the first document. "This is a medical report," she said clearly, calmly. "Dated 3 weeks ago. Patient name, Myra Benson. Test type, STD screening." She paused. "Results, positive for chlamydia." Gasps. Actual gasps from the crowd. Myra stumbled backward. No, this isn't. This is real," Lila continued. "Received at a clinic downtown. Prescribed treatment, antibiotics. Patient was advised to inform all recent sexual partners." "Stop," Myra said. She was crying now. Mascara running. "Julian, please, stop this." I didn't say anything. Just watched. Lila pulled out another document. "This is a similar report. Same clinic. Same date. Patient name, Owen Monroe. My husband." Her voice cracked slightly but she pushed through. "Also positive for chlamydia. Same strain. Confirming that they infected each other." More gasps. Whispers spreading through the room like wildfire. Ashley stood up. "What the hell is going on?" "I'll tell you what's going on," Lila said. "While Julian and Myra were on their honeymoon, my husband flew to Bali. He met Myra at a hotel. They spent the day together. And they've been meeting up regularly since then. Including a weekend 2 weeks ago when Myra told Julian she was having a girls' trip." "That's not true." Myra screamed. "She's lying. Julian, she's lying." "Am I?" Lila pulled out more papers. Screenshots. Texts. "Should I read the messages too? The ones where you called your husband clueless? Where you planned your next meeting? Where you—" "Stop. Please." Myra was sobbing now. Full body sobs. She looked at me. "Julian, I can explain. Please. Not here. Not like this." I took the mic back from Lila. "When then, Myra? When were you planning to explain? Before or after you gave me an STD too?" "You don't have. I got tested. I'm clean." Which means you got it after we got married. From him. The room erupted. People talking over each other. Some yelling. Ashley looked like she was going to be sick. Kevin was just staring, mouth open. Myra's mom, who'd been sitting at a table near the back, stood up. Myra, tell them this isn't true. Myra looked at her mother. Tears streaming down her face. Makeup completely ruined. And she couldn't say anything. Couldn't deny it. The proof was right there. Oh my God, her mom whispered. Then she grabbed her purse and walked out. That seemed to break something. Other people started leaving. Some in disgust. Some in solidarity with Myra. Most just uncomfortable and wanting to escape the drama. Myra turned to me one more time. How could you do this to me? How could I? I stared at her. You cheated on me at our wedding. During our honeymoon. You gave me an STD. You lied to my face every single day. And you're asking how I could do this to you. We could have handled this privately. Like you handled our marriage privately? By sleeping with someone else? She had no response. Just stood there, destroyed, surrounded by the wreckage of her perfect image. Lila touched my arm. We should go. She was right. We'd done what we came to do. Staying longer would just be cruel. We walked out together, leaving Myra sobbing in the middle of the bar, her friends awkwardly trying to comfort her. Outside, the cold night air hit my face. I realized I was shaking. Actually shaking. Are you okay? Lila asked. I don't know. Are you? I don't know either. We stood there on the sidewalk, two people who'd just blown up their marriages in the most public way possible. What happens now? I asked. Now, Lila said, we move forward. #**** Part 6, The Revenge Plan ****. I need to back up a little. Because what you just saw, that moment at the bar, that didn't just happen spontaneously. Lila and I spent 2 weeks planning every single detail. Every word. Every document. Every possible reaction. Let me take you through how we got there. After that first meeting at the coffee shop, Lila and I became something like war partners. We weren't friends exactly. We were two people bonded by mutual betrayal, working toward a common goal. We met 6 times over those 2 weeks. Always in public. Always careful. Always planning. The first question was simple: how do we expose them? We could just tell everyone individually, I suggested during our second meeting. We were at a different coffee shop this time. Somewhere neither of our spouses would ever go. That won't work, Lila said. They'll control the narrative. They'll get to each person first and spin it. Make us look crazy or vindictive. She was right. Myra was good at controlling narratives. She'd spent her whole life curating her image. She'd know exactly what to say to make people doubt me. So we need something public, I said. Something undeniable. And humiliating. Lila's eyes were cold. They humiliated us. They deserve the same. I understood her anger. I felt it too. But part of me still hesitated. What if we're being too harsh? Julian, your wife gave you an STD. My husband has been lying to me for months. They did this during your wedding. Your wedding. How is anything we do too harsh? She had a point. We started brainstorming. A confrontation at Myra's work? Too risky. I could get her fired. As angry as I was, I didn't want to ruin her career. A post on social media? Too easy to delete or deny. A family gathering? Too intimate. I didn't want to traumatize her younger siblings. Then I mentioned karaoke night. Tell me about it, Lila said, leaning forward. It's this monthly thing our friend group does. Everyone goes. Myra's friends. Some family members. It's casual but public. Everyone drinks, sings, has fun. Myra loves it because she gets to perform. Perfect. Lila smiled. When's the next one? 2 weeks from Friday. That gives us time to prepare everything. We spent our third meeting working out logistics. Lila would attend as my guest. I'd introduce her as someone I knew from work. No one would question it. People brought new friends to karaoke all the time. Myra would sing. She always did. She'd sign up early, pick a romantic song, probably dedicate it to me because she loved those public displays of affection. And when she was done, when she was riding high on applause and attention, that's when we'd strike. I'll take the MIC, I said. I'll call you up. You'll have the documents. What documents exactly? Her test results. Yours. Owen's. Screenshots of the texts. Anything that proves it. They'll say we faked them. We'll have originals. Official papers. Dates. Signatures. Everything. Lila nodded. And I'll read them out loud. Every detail. So there's no way to deny it. Exactly. She's going to break down, Lila said. Not with sympathy. Just stating a fact. I know. Can you handle that? Watching her fall apart in front of everyone. I thought about it. Really thought about it. Could I watch the woman I'd loved, the woman I'd married, completely shatter in public? I remember the text message. He never suspects anything. Yes, I said. I can handle it. Our fourth meeting was about contingencies. What if Myra didn't show up? What if she left early? What if someone stopped us before we could finish? We need a backup plan, Lila said. Like what? If karaoke doesn't work, we do it somewhere else. Her birthday party. A work event. We find another opportunity. No. I shook my head. It has to be karaoke night. That's her place. Where she feels safe and loved and admired. That's where it needs to happen. Lila studied me. You've thought about this a lot. Every night for 2 weeks. I can't stop thinking about it. Are you having second thoughts? Every day. But then I remember what she did. And I know we have to do this. We don't have to, Lila said quietly. We could still walk away. Get divorced quietly. Move on with our lives. Could you? Could you really just let Owen get away with this? Let everyone keep thinking you had this perfect marriage while he was out there screwing around. She was quiet for a long moment. Then, no. I couldn't. Me neither. The fifth meeting was about the documents. Lila brought everything. Medical records. Text message screenshots. Photos from Owen's phone. She'd compiled it all into a folder. We sat in my car in an empty parking lot and went through every page. This one, I said, pointing to a text from Myra to Owen. This one is brutal. The text read, Julian asked about the STD today. I told him it was from contaminated medical equipment. He looked skeptical, but he didn't push. God, sometimes I feel bad. But then I think about us and I don't feel bad anymore. She doesn't even feel guilty, I said. Not really. Neither does Owen. Lila showed me a text from him. He told me he loved me the same day he sent Myra a message about booking a hotel room. We sat there in silence, reading through the evidence of our spouse's betrayal. It was like picking at a wound. Painful but somehow necessary. Are we bad people for doing this? I asked. No, Lila said firmly. We're not the ones who cheated. We're not the ones who lied. We're just making sure the truth comes out. In the most humiliating way possible. They earned it. Our sixth and final meeting was the night before karaoke. We met at a park near Lila's house. It was cold. Nearly empty. Just us and a few joggers. Last chance to back out, I said. Are you backing out? No. I just want to make sure you're okay with this. Once we do it, there's no taking it back. I know. Lila looked at me. Julian, I've replayed every moment of my marriage in my head. Every time Owen said he loved me. Every time he came home late and said it was work. Every time he kissed me after being with her. And you know what I realized? What? I deserve better. We both do. And the only way we're going to get better is if we close this chapter completely. No doubts. No what ifs. No wondering if we made the right choice. And you think publicly humiliating them will do that? I think making them face consequences for their actions will do that. They've been living consequence-free for months. They've been laughing at us. At how clueless we are. How easy we are to fool. She was right. I knew she was right. Okay, I said. Tomorrow night. We do this. Tomorrow night, she agreed. We rehearsed it one more time. I'd take the mic after Myra's performance. I'd say something vague about truth and honesty. I'd call Lila up. She'd read the documents. Clean. Simple. Devastating. What do we do after? I asked. After? After we expose them. Do we stay? Do we answer questions? Do we? We leave, Lila said. We say what we need to say and we leave. We don't owe anyone explanations. We don't owe them our pain or our tears or our justifications. We just leave. That night, I barely slept. I kept running through scenarios in my head. What if Myra suspected something? What if someone warned her? What if she didn't show up? But she did show up. She got dressed in that beautiful dress. She did her makeup. She smiled at me in the car. She had no idea. And when we walked into that bar, when I saw Lila sitting in the corner with that folder, I felt something click into place. This was really happening. After 2 weeks of planning, after countless meetings and rehearsals and second-guessing, we were here. The moment of truth. Before I continue, I need to know something. Are you still with me? Have you subscribed yet? Because what comes next, the fallout, the aftermath, the way everything changes, you're going to want to be here for it. Don't make me beg. Just hit that button. Let's finish this story together. The karaoke bar was loud with the usual Friday night energy. Someone was murdering a Whitney Houston song. People were laughing, drinking, living their normal lives while my entire world was about to detonate. I kept glancing at Lila in the corner. She was calm. Stone-faced. That folder sitting on the table in front of her like a loaded weapon. Myra was oblivious. She'd already had 2 cocktails. She was laughing with Ashley and Sarah, talking about some work drama, completely relaxed. She had no idea that in less than an hour, everyone in this room would know the truth. Kevin sidled up to me at the bar. You good, man? You've been weird all night. Fine. Just tired. Myra's in a good mood. She's been talking about this all week. Said she's got the perfect song picked out. Yeah. She's excited. Kevin studied me. You sure everything's okay with you too? You've seemed distant lately. We're fine, I lied. Just the usual married couple stuff. Adjusting. He seemed to accept that. Clapped me on the shoulder and went back to his table. The karaoke list was long. 8 people ahead of Myra. I watched each one perform, my anxiety building with every song. My hands were sweating. My heart was racing. Part of me wanted to grab Myra and run. To handle this differently. To protect her from what was coming. But then I'd see her laughing. See her checking her phone and smiling at something. And I'd wonder if she was texting him. If Owen was somewhere right now, also living his life, also getting away with it. And I'd remember why we were doing this. Finally, after what felt like hours, they called Myra's name. She lit up. Actually lit up. She kissed me on the cheek as she walked past. "Watch this," she whispered. I watched. Everyone watched. She took the stage like she owned it. Grabbed the microphone with confidence. Smiled at the crowd. "This one's for my amazing husband," she announced, looking directly at me. "The man who makes me happier than I ever thought possible. Love you, Julian." People awed, someone whistled. Ashley grabbed my arm and squeezed, like, "Isn't she amazing?" The music started. I recognized the song immediately. A Sarah Bareilles ballad about love and commitment and being someone's everything. The irony was not lost on me. Myra sang beautifully. She always did. She had this way of performing that made you believe every word. She looked at me during the emotional parts, hand over her heart, selling the romance. People were swaying. Some were singing along. A few had their phones out, recording. This was her moment. Her spotlight. Her validation. And I was about to rip it all away. The song ended. Thunderous applause. Myra took a bow, beaming, soaking it all in. She stepped off the stage, and her friends mobbed her with compliments. "That was beautiful. You guys are so cute. Relationship goals." Each compliment was a knife. Each lie she accepted with a smile was another reason to do what we were about to do. I glanced at Lila. She nodded. It was time. I walked to the stage. My legs felt like jelly. I picked up the microphone before anyone else could. The DJ looked confused but stepped back. "Hey everyone," I said. My voice sounded weird. Distant. Like it was coming from someone else. "Sorry to interrupt the flow. I just need a minute." People turned to look. The room quieted. Myra was smiling at me, confused but not alarmed. "Not yet." "That was beautiful, Myra. Really. You always know how to put on a good show." I paused. "I've been thinking a lot lately about honesty. About truth. About what it really means to know someone." Myra's smile faltered. Just slightly. And I realized there are some things that need to be said. Some truths that need to come out. Because living a lie isn't fair to anyone. "Julian." Myra took a step toward the stage. "What are you doing?" "I want to invite someone up here. Someone who has information that I think everyone should hear." I scanned the crowd until I found Lila. "Lila Monroe, could you come up here please?" Lila stood. The folder in her hand. She walked through the crowd like she was walking to a funeral. People parted to let her through, confused, curious. Myra's face went white. Actually white. "No. Julian, no. What is this?" "This is Lila Monroe," I said into the mic, my voice steady now. Clear. "She's married to Owen Monroe. You remember Owen, right, Myra? You met him at our wedding." Gasps. Whispers. The energy in the room shifted from confused to tense. "I don't," Myra's voice was shaking. "I don't know what this is about." "Don't you?" I handed the microphone to Lila. Lila took it. She opened the folder. Her hands were steady. She'd practiced this. "This is a medical document," she said, her voice carrying through the speakers. Dated October 18th, patient name, Myra Benson. Test type, STD screening panel. More gasps. Someone said, "Oh my God." Myra stumbled backward. "Stop. You need to stop." Results, Lila continued, reading directly from the paper. Positive for chlamydia. Treatment prescribed, azithromycin, 1 gram, single dose. Patient advised to inform all sexual partners within the past 60 days. The room erupted. Not with applause. With shock. With horror. With scandalized whispers spreading like wildfire. This is insane. Myra was crying now. Mascara running. This is a violation of my privacy. You can't. I can, Lila said calmly. Because my husband has the same diagnosis. Same clinic. Same date. Same strain. She pulled out another document. Owen Monroe. Also positive. Which means you gave it to each other. Ashley stood up. Myra, what is she talking about? She's lying. Myra screamed. She's making this up. Julian, she's crazy. You know she's crazy. I took the MIC back. She's not crazy. And she's not lying. I pulled out my phone. I got tested too. 3 days after you told me about your diagnosis. Want to know what my results were? Myra's face crumpled. Please don't do this. Negative. Completely negative. Every test. I looked at her. Which means you didn't get it from me. And you didn't get it from contaminated medical equipment. You got it from him. Who's him? Kevin asked. He looked genuinely confused. Hurt. Owen Monroe, Lila answered. My husband. Who's been sleeping with Myra since their wedding. That's not true. But Myra's voice had no conviction. She was falling apart in real time. Lila pulled out more papers. Screenshots. These are text messages between Owen and Myra. Want me to read them? No. Myra lurched forward. Don't you dare. Does your husband know? Lila read anyway. No, he's clueless. He trusts me completely. She looked up. That's you talking about Julian, Myra. Calling him clueless. I felt the eyes of everyone in the room turn to me. Pity. Anger on my behalf. Second-hand embarrassment. Here's another one, Lila continued. Julian asked about the STD today. I told him it was from contaminated equipment. He looked skeptical but didn't push. Sometimes I feel bad. But then I think about us and I don't anymore. Sarah stood up. Myra, oh my God. How could you? You don't understand. Myra was full-on sobbing now. Ugly crying. Her perfect makeup completely destroyed. It's not what it looks like. What does it look like? I asked. My voice was cold. Detached. Because from where I'm standing, it looks like you've been cheating on me since our wedding day. It looks like you infected me with your affair. It looks like you've been lying to my face every single day while I was trying to be a good husband. I'm sorry. She was on her knees now. Actually on her knees. I'm so sorry, Julian. It was a mistake. It meant nothing. I love you. I love you so much. You love me. I stared at her. You gave me an STD and called me clueless behind my back. That's not love, Myra. That's betrayal. Her mother stood up from the back table. She'd been silent until now. Myra. Her voice was ice. Tell me this isn't true. Tell me right now. Myra looked at her mother. Opened her mouth. Closed it. No words came out. Her mother's face hardened. She grabbed her purse. I'm ashamed of you. Then she walked out. That broke something. Other people started leaving. Some shooting looks of disgust at Myra. Some uncomfortable and wanting to escape the drama. Ashley hesitated, torn between loyalty to her friend and horror at what she'd learned. Ash, please, Myra begged. Please don't go. Ashley looked at me. Then at Myra. I can't believe you did this to him. Then she left too. Within 5 minutes, half the bar had cleared out. The people who remained were either too shocked to move or too invested in the drama to leave. Myra turned to me one last time. "How could you do this to me?" That made me laugh. Actually laugh. "How could I do this to you? Are you serious right now? We could have handled this privately. We could have talked about it. Like you talked to me before you slept with Owen? Like you gave me the courtesy of honesty before you infected me with your lies?" She had nothing. No response. No excuse. She just stood there, destroyed, her perfect image shattered into 1,000 pieces. "I'm filing for divorce," I said. "First thing Monday morning. And I'm going to make sure everyone knows exactly why. Julian, please. We're done, Myra. We've been done since the moment you decided our marriage wasn't worth protecting." I handed the microphone back to the DJ and walked off the stage. Lila followed me. We walked through what remained of the crowd. Some people tried to stop me, to ask questions, to offer support. I didn't stop. Just kept walking. Outside, the night air was freezing. I could finally breathe. "You okay?" Lila asked. "No," I said honestly. "But I will be." She nodded. "Me too." We stood there for a moment, two people who'd just blown up their lives in the most public way possible. "No regrets?" I asked. "No regrets," she confirmed. Inside, I could hear Myra still crying. Still trying to explain. Still trying to salvage something from the wreckage. But there was nothing left to salvage. We'd made sure of that. And honestly, I felt lighter than I had in weeks. If you're still watching this, if you made it through that whole devastating scene, I need you to do something for me. Drop a comment. Tell me what you would have done. Would you have confronted them privately? Would you have done the same thing? Would you have done something worse? I need to know I'm not crazy. And while you're at it, hit that subscribe button. Let's build this community together. The next morning, I woke up on Lila's couch. Not because anything happened between us. Because I couldn't go home. I couldn't face Myra. Couldn't face the apartment we'd shared, the bed we'd slept in, the life we'd built on a foundation of lies. After we left the bar, Lila had offered me her spare room. "Owen's not home," she'd said. "He's been staying at his brother's since I confronted him. You can crash here if you need to." I needed to. I spent the night staring at the ceiling, replaying everything. The look on Myra's face when Lila started reading. The gasps from our friends. Her mother walking out. The way Myra collapsed, her perfect facade completely shattered. Part of me felt guilty. Part of me felt like maybe we'd gone too far. But then I'd remember. He never suspects anything. The STD. The lies. And I'd feel that anger come back. My phone had been vibrating non-stop since we left the bar. Texts. Calls. Voicemails. I turned it on silent around midnight and hadn't checked it since. Now, with morning light filtering through Lila's curtains, I finally looked. 63 text messages. 22 missed calls. 15 voicemails. Most were from Myra. "Julian, please call me. We need to talk. You humiliated me in front of everyone. How could you do that to me? I'm so sorry, please. I love you. Please come home. We can fix this." Each message was progressively more desperate. More broken. The last one, sent at 4:47 a.m., just said, "I don't know who you are anymore." I almost laughed at that. She didn't know who I was. She was the one who'd been living a double life. There were messages from other people too. "Kevin, man, I'm so sorry. I had no idea. Call me if you need anything. Sarah, I can't believe Myra did that to you. You deserve so much better. Even Ashley, who'd been Myra's closest friend, I'm processing everything. I don't know what to say. But I'm here if you need to talk. And then there were messages from people I barely knew. Friends of friends. Acquaintances. People who'd been at the bar and witnessed everything. The story had spread. Fast. Lila came into the living room around 8. She was already dressed, hair pulled back, coffee in hand. She looked tired but determined. "How'd you sleep?" she asked. "Didn't really." "You?" "Same." She sat down in the chair across from me. "My phone's been going crazy. People asking what happened. If it's true. If I'm okay. What are you telling them?" "The truth. That Owen cheated. That I found proof. That I'm filing for divorce." "Are you?" "Filing. Monday morning. First thing." "You?" "Same." We sat in silence for a moment, two people at the beginning of the end of their marriages. "I got a message from Owen," Lila said quietly. "He wants to talk. Says he can explain everything." "Are you going to meet him?" "No." Her voice was firm. "There's nothing to explain. I saw the texts. I saw the receipts. I saw the medical records. What could he possibly say that would change any of that?" "Myra wants to talk too." "Are you going to?" I thought about it. Part of me wanted to hear her out. Wanted to hear her explanation, her justification, her apology. But what would be the point? What could she possibly say that would undo the betrayal? That would erase the STD? That would make me trust her again? "No," I said. "I'm done talking." Lila nodded. "Good. Don't give her the opportunity to manipulate you. Because that's what she'll do. She'll cry. She'll apologize. She'll promise it'll never happen again. And if you're not careful, you'll start to believe her." "I won't believe her." "You might. Because you love her. Or you did. And that love doesn't just disappear overnight." Lila set down her coffee. "But you need to remember, she didn't just cheat once. This wasn't a mistake. This was a pattern. Months of lies. Months of betrayal. That's not something you come back from." She was right. Deep down, I knew she was right. I spent the rest of the weekend at Lila's. We didn't talk much. Just existed in the same space, two people healing from the same wound. On Sunday, I finally went home. I had to. I needed clothes. Needed my laptop. Needed to start figuring out what came next. The apartment felt different. Cold. Empty. Like a place I used to know but didn't anymore. Myra was in the living room when I walked in. She looked terrible. Eyes red and swollen. Hair a mess. Still wearing the clothes from Friday night. "Julian." She stood up. "You came home." "I'm not home. I'm picking up some things. Please. Please, can we talk? 5 minutes. That's all I'm asking." I should have said no. Should have grabbed my stuff and left. But I owed myself closure. I owed myself the chance to look her in the eyes and hear whatever excuse she'd come up with. "Fine. 5 minutes." She took a shaky breath. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I know that doesn't mean anything right now, but I need you to know that I never wanted to hurt you. But you did hurt me. You destroyed me. I know. I know. And I hate myself for it. I hate what I did. I hate who I became." Tears were streaming down her face. It started as nothing. Just flirting. Just attention. I didn't think it would go anywhere. But it did. But it did, she repeated. And by the time I realized how far it had gone, I didn't know how to stop. I didn't know how to tell you. I was scared. Scared of what? Scared of losing you. Scared of everyone finding out. Scared of being judged. So instead you just kept lying. Yes. And I know how awful that is. I know how unforgivable. She stepped closer. But Julian, I love you. I love you so much. And I know I don't deserve another chance, but I'm begging you. Please. Let me make this right. I looked at her. Really looked at her. At this woman I'd married. This woman I'd trusted with my whole heart. And I felt nothing. No love. No anger. No pain. Just emptiness. You can't make this right, Myra. There's no coming back from what you did. Don't say that. We can go to counseling. We can work through this. People recover from affairs all the time. This wasn't just an affair. You gave me an STD. You called me clueless behind my back. You cheated on me during our honeymoon. At our wedding. You didn't just betray me once. You betrayed me constantly. Every day. Every time you looked me in the eyes and lied. I know. I know, and I'm sorry. Stop saying you're sorry. Sorry doesn't fix this. Sorry doesn't give me back the months I wasted trusting you. Sorry doesn't undo the humiliation. Then what do you want from me? Her voice rose, desperate. What can I do to make you forgive me? Nothing. There's nothing you can do. Because I don't want to forgive you. I want to move on. She started sobbing. Full body sobs that shook her entire frame. Please don't leave me. Please. I can't do this without you. You should have thought about that before you slept with Owen. I walked past her to the bedroom. Started packing a bag. Clothes. Toiletries. My laptop. Everything I'd need for the next few weeks. Myra followed me, still crying, still begging. Where are you going to stay? That's not your concern anymore. Julian, please. Don't do this. Don't throw away 3 years over one mistake. I stopped. Turned to look at her. It wasn't one mistake, Myra. It was 100 mistakes. Every text you sent him. Every time you met him. Every time you came home and kissed me after being with him. Every lie you told. Those weren't mistakes. Those were choices. I know. You're right. I made terrible choices. But I'm choosing you now. I'm choosing our marriage. I'm not. I zipped up my bag. Walked to the door. I'm filing for divorce tomorrow. My lawyer will be in touch. Julian, wait. I didn't wait. I walked out. Closed the door. Heard her collapse into sobs behind it. And I didn't go back. Monday morning, I met with a divorce attorney. Her name was Patricia, and she was exactly what I needed: sharp, efficient, no nonsense. Do you have proof of the affair? She asked. Yes. Text messages. Photos. Medical records showing she contracted an STD from her affair partner. Good. That'll make this clean. She made notes. Any shared assets. An apartment we rent. Joint bank account. That's about it. Children? No. Then this should be straightforward. We'll file on grounds of adultery. Given the evidence, we can likely get a quick settlement. How quick? Depends on whether she contests it. But with proof this solid? A few months. A few months. A few months and I'd be free. I signed the papers. Patricia filed them that afternoon. By Tuesday, Myra had been served. She called me 17 times that day. I didn't answer. She left voicemails. Sent texts. All saying the same thing: please don't do this. We can fix this. I love you. But there was no fixing this. Not anymore. Lila filed for divorce the same day. We'd become accidental partners in this whole process. Sometimes we'd meet for coffee and compare notes. Share updates. Commiserate about the legal process. Owen's trying to fight it, she told me one afternoon. Says I blindsided him. Says he deserves another chance. Are you giving him one? Hell no. I told my lawyer to push for everything. The house. The car. I want him to feel what he took from me. I didn't want to hurt Myra financially. I just wanted out. Wanted to close this chapter and move on. But she wasn't making it easy. She showed up at my office 2 weeks after I filed. Security had to escort her out. She was crying, making a scene, begging me to talk to her. My co-workers stared. Whispered. The story had reached even them. My boss called me into his office afterward. Everything okay, Julian? Just some personal stuff. Getting divorced. I'm sorry to hear that. If you need some time. I'm fine. Work is actually helping. Keeps me distracted. He nodded, sympathetic but not prying. By week 3, Myra had finally stopped reaching out. Her lawyer had advised her to cease contact. To let the legal process handle things. That should have been a relief. But instead, it felt strange. Final. Like the last thread connecting us had been cut. I moved into a new apartment. Small. 1 bedroom. Nothing like the place Myra and I had shared. But it was mine. Only mine. Lila helped me move in. We'd become actual friends by then. Bonded by our shared trauma. Our shared healing. You know what's weird, she said as we unpacked boxes. I don't miss him. I thought I would. I thought I'd be devastated. But mostly I just feel relieved. Yeah, I said. I know what you mean. And I did. Because despite everything, the pain, the betrayal, the humiliation, I felt lighter. Freer. Like I'd been carrying a weight I didn't even know was there until it was gone. The divorce was finalized 3 months after I filed. Myra didn't contest it. Didn't fight for anything. Just signed the papers and let me go. I heard through mutual friends that she'd moved back in with her parents. That she'd quit her job. That she was struggling. Part of me felt bad for her. Part of me wanted to reach out, to make sure she was okay. But I didn't. Because I'd learned something important through all of this. Compassion doesn't mean taking responsibility for someone else's pain. Especially when they caused it themselves. Myra made her choices. Now she had to live with them. Just like I had to live with mine. And you know what? I was okay with that. Hey, quick question before we wrap this up. Are you glad you stayed for this whole story? Have you learned something? Felt something? Then do me a favor and leave a comment telling me what you thought. And if you still haven't subscribed, come on. What are you waiting for? We're almost at the end. Don't leave me now. 6 months after the divorce was finalized, I was sitting in a coffee shop when I saw Myra again. It wasn't planned. Wasn't intentional. I'd just stopped in to grab a coffee before work, and there she was, standing in line ahead of me. She looked different. Thinner. Hair shorter. No makeup. She was wearing jeans and a sweater, nothing like the polished, put-together version of herself she used to present to the world. For a second, I considered leaving. Just walking out before she saw me. But then she turned around, and our eyes met. Julian. Her voice was quiet. Surprised. Myra. We stood there awkwardly. The barista called for the next customer, but neither of us moved. How are you? She asked finally. Good. I'm good. You? I'm managing. She gave a weak smile. living with my parents, working on myself, therapy, all that fun stuff. That's good. Therapy's good. Another awkward pause. Listen, she said. I know I've said this before, but I need to say it again. I'm sorry. For everything. For what I did to you. For how I treated you. You deserved so much better. I looked at her. Really looked at her. And I realized something. I didn't hate her anymore. Didn't feel angry or betrayed or hurt. I just felt nothing. Complete indifference. I appreciate that, I said. And I hope you find what you're looking for. I really do. She nodded, tears welling up in her eyes. You too. Then I ordered my coffee, and we went our separate ways. And that was it. No dramatic confrontation. No closure speech. Just two people who used to be married, acknowledging each other's existence and moving on. It felt right. Final. Like the last page of a chapter I'd been ready to close for a long time. Lila's divorce had been messier than mine. Owen had fought her on everything. The house. The car. Even their joint savings account. But eventually, her lawyer had worn him down, and they'd settled. She'd gotten the house. He'd gotten the car and some of the savings. Neither of them had gotten what they really wanted, their old life back, but that was never going to happen anyway. Lila and I had continued meeting for coffee throughout the divorce process. What started as trauma bonding had evolved into genuine friendship. We understood each other in a way most people couldn't. We'd been through the same fire and come out the other side. You know what I realized, she said one afternoon. We were sitting in her backyard, drinking iced tea, watching the sunset. What? I spent so much of my marriage trying to be what Owen wanted. The perfect wife. The supportive partner. The woman who didn't ask too many questions. She paused. I lost myself somewhere in there. And maybe the affair was horrible, but it forced me to find myself again. You think it was worth it? No. God, no. I wouldn't wish this pain on anyone. But I'm grateful for who I'm becoming because of it. I understood what she meant. The betrayal had destroyed me. But it had also forced me to rebuild. And in that rebuilding, I'd discovered parts of myself I'd forgotten existed. I'd started running. Something I hadn't done since college. Every morning, I'd wake up at 6 and run 5 miles. It cleared my head. Made me feel strong. In control. I'd reconnected with old friends. People I'd lost touch with because Myra didn't like them or because I'd been too focused on making her happy. I'd started therapy too. Not because I was broken, but because I wanted to understand why I'd ignored so many red flags. Why I'd prioritized her happiness over my own self-respect. You're a people pleaser, my therapist told me during our 3rd session. You want everyone to be happy, even at your own expense. That's not love. That's self-abandonment. It was a hard truth to swallow. But she was right. I'd spent 3 years trying to make Myra happy. Trying to be the perfect husband. Trying to build a life she'd be proud of. And in doing that, I'd lost myself. But I was finding myself again. Slowly. Piece by piece. 8 months after the divorce, Lila and I were having dinner at a new restaurant downtown. It had become a regular thing, Friday night dinners, just the two of us, catching up on our weeks. I went on a date, she said suddenly. Really? How'd it go? Terrible. She laughed. The guy spent the entire time talking about his ex-wife. I felt like I was in a therapy session I wasn't getting paid for. That's brutal. What about you? Any prospects? I shook my head. Not really interested in dating yet. Still figuring out who I am as a single person. That's fair. No rush. But something shifted that night. The way she smiled at me across the table. The way our hands brushed when we reached for the check at the same time. The way neither of us wanted the evening to end. Want to take a walk? I asked. Yeah. I'd like that. We walked through the downtown streets, talking about everything and nothing. Our jobs. Our families. Our hopes for the future. Can I tell you something? Lila said as we stopped at a small park. Of course. I'm glad we met. I know the circumstances were awful. But I'm glad you're in my life. Me too. She looked at me. Really looked at me. And in that moment, something passed between us. An understanding. A possibility. Julian, she said softly. Is it crazy that I'm starting to have feelings for you? My heart skipped. Because I'd been having the same feelings. For weeks now. But I'd been pushing them down, telling myself it was too soon, too complicated, too messy. No, I said. It's not crazy. Because I'm starting to have feelings for you too. She smiled. A real smile. The kind that reached her eyes. So what do we do about it? I don't know. Take it slow? See where it goes. I can do slow. We stood there in the park, two people who'd been broken by betrayal, finding something unexpected in each other. Not a rebound. Not a distraction. Something real. Our first kiss happened 2 weeks later. We were at her house, watching a movie, and halfway through, we both stopped pretending to pay attention to the screen. Can I kiss you? I asked. I was hoping you would, she said. It was gentle. Tentative. Nothing like the passion I'd had with Myra in the beginning. This was different. Softer. Built on friendship and trust and mutual understanding. And it felt right. We took things slow. No rushing into anything. No grand declarations. Just two people getting to know each other in a way that was healthy and honest and real. 3 months into dating, we made it official. Changed our relationship status. Started introducing each other as boyfriend and girlfriend. Our friends were supportive. Surprised, but supportive. I didn't see this coming, Kevin said when I told him. But honestly? You guys make sense. You've been through the same thing. You understand each other. Plus, he added with a grin, you actually seem happy now. Like, genuinely happy. Not the fake happy you used to do with Myra. He was right. I was happy. Genuinely, deeply happy. Lila didn't play games. Didn't hide her phone. Didn't make me guess how she was feeling. She was open. Honest. Present. And I gave her the same in return. We had hard conversations. About our exes. About our fears. About what we needed from a relationship. I need honesty, she told me one night. Even when it's hard. Even when it hurts. I need to know you'll tell me the truth. I will, I promised. Always. And I need you to know that I'm not her, she continued. I'm not Myra. I won't betray you. I won't lie to you. I won't give you a reason to doubt me. I know. And I'm not Owen. I won't make you feel like you're not enough. I won't make you compete for my attention. I won't take you for granted. We were both healing. Both learning. Both committed to not repeating the mistakes of our past relationships. A year after we started dating, I proposed. Not at a fancy restaurant. Not with a photographer hidden in the bushes. Not with a performance for social media. Just us. At the park where we'd first admitted our feelings for each other. On a regular Tuesday evening. Lila Monroe, I said, getting down on one knee. You saved my life in the weirdest way possible. You showed me what real love looks like. You showed me what it means to be chosen every single day. Will you marry me? She said yes. Through tears and laughter and a kiss that felt like coming home. We got married 6 months later. Small ceremony. 20 people. Our closest friends and family. No extravagant decorations. No performance. No social media posts. Just 2 people committing to each other in the most genuine way possible. My mom cried during the vows. Happy tears. I've never seen you like this, she whispered after the ceremony. So at peace. So sure. I am sure, I told her. For the first time in my life, I'm completely sure. Lila and I bought a house together. A small 3-bedroom in a quiet neighborhood. We adopted a dog. Started talking about kids. Built a life that was simple and real and ours. Sometimes I think about Myra. Wonder how she's doing. Wonder if she ever found what she was looking for. I heard through mutual friends that she'd moved to another city. Started over. Was dating someone new. I hoped she was happy. I really did. Not because I still loved her. But because holding on to anger wasn't serving anyone. She'd made mistakes. Terrible mistakes. But she was human. Flawed. Just like the rest of us. And in a strange way, I was grateful. Because her betrayal had led me here. To Lila. To this life. To this version of myself that I actually liked. Do you ever regret it? Lila asked me one night. We were lying in bed, her head on my chest, our dog snoring at our feet. Regret what? The way we exposed them. At the bar. In front of everyone. I thought about it. Really thought about it. No, I said finally. I don't regret it. It was harsh, yeah. But it was honest. And it forced us both to face the truth and move on. If we'd handled it privately, if we'd tried to work it out or sweep it under the rug, we might still be stuck in those toxic marriages. That's what I think too, she said. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do for yourself is to walk away. Even if it's messy. Even if it hurts. Especially when it hurts. She kissed my shoulder. I love you, Julian Ripley. I love you too, Lila Ripley. We'd both taken new last names when we got married. A fresh start. A new chapter. No connection to our past except the lessons we'd learned. Life wasn't perfect. We still had hard days. Still had moments where old wounds ached. Still had to work on trust and communication and all the things that make a relationship healthy. But we were committed to it. To each other. To building something real and lasting. And that made all the difference. 2 years after our wedding, Lila got pregnant. We hadn't been trying, but we weren't preventing either. And when she showed me the positive test, I felt something I'd never felt before. Pure, uncomplicated joy. We're having a baby, she said, tears streaming down her face. We're having a baby, I repeated, pulling her close. Our daughter was born 9 months later. We named her Hope. Because that's what she represented. Hope for the future. Hope for healing. Hope that even after the darkest moments, light can find its way back in. Holding her in the hospital, looking at Lila exhausted but glowing beside me, I realized something. Myra's betrayal didn't end my life. It changed the direction of it. It forced me onto a different path. A better path. And I wouldn't trade where I ended up for anything. I'm sitting here now, 3 years into my marriage with Lila, watching Hope take her first steps in our backyard, and I'm overwhelmed with gratitude. Not for the betrayal. Not for the pain. But for the strength I found in the aftermath. For the courage to stand up for myself. For the wisdom to recognize real love when it finally showed up. For the resilience to rebuild when everything fell apart. If you're going through something similar right now, if you've been betrayed, if you've been lied to, if you're wondering if you'll ever feel whole again, I want you to know something. You will. Maybe not today. Maybe not next month. But eventually, you'll wake up and realize the pain doesn't consume you anymore. Eventually, you'll meet someone who shows you what real love looks like. Or maybe you'll discover that you don't need someone else to be complete. That you're enough all on your own. Either way, you'll survive this. And not just survive, you'll thrive. Because being betrayed doesn't end your story. Sometimes it's just the beginning of a better chapter. The person who walked away, who chose someone else, who broke your trust, they didn't take your future with them. They just made space for something better. Something real. Something honest. Something worth holding on to. And that's worth everything. Alright, my loves. We've reached the end. If you made it all the way through this story, if you felt every high and low with me, if you're sitting there thinking about your own life and your own choices, then I need you to do something. Drop a comment. Tell me your story. Tell me what this meant to you. Tell me if you've ever been through something similar and how you got through it. And if you still haven't subscribed after this entire hour-long journey we just took together, then I don't know what to tell you. Hit that button. Join this community. Let's keep sharing these stories that touch the heart and heal the soul. Because that's what this is about. Not just entertainment. Not just drama. But connection. Understanding. Knowing that we're not alone in our pain or our healing. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being part of this journey. Until next time, remember, you deserve honesty. You deserve respect. You deserve real love. Don't settle for anything less. I'll see you in the next story.